Hi, my name is Jody, and I'm here today to talk to you about my journey with my son, Wyatt, who is now 10 years old. He was diagnosed with autism at around a year old. Like many children, he was born healthy. He had an APGAR score of 10, and for me and Dave, he was our miracle child. I was not supposed to be able to get pregnant because of endocrine issues, and lo and behold, at 5 months I found out I was pregnant with a boy. From the start, we gave him probiotics even as a young child. He ate a lot of organic vegetables and organic rice cereal. Every time I tried to introduce anything other than the rice, I noticed some issues. He said, "Hi, Mama, Daddy, bye." A year and a little after that, all of a sudden there was all these changes. He had aversions to foods that he normally would eat. He no longer wanted all these vegetables. In fact, he wouldn't even touch them. His diet was, there was a drastic change. This normal, healthy boy all of a sudden lost abilities to do anything. The little words that he did have disappeared. All of a sudden he started developing repetitive behavior, opening, shutting doors, slamming them over and over, moving a car back and forth, fixated. We did have gluten-free foods, but the only ones that he gravitated towards were any that fed candidal, fungal. At that point, his behavior, he was happy and a loving, caring, kind, and a well-behaved child, exceptionally behaved child, even at that age. And at this point, he was very fussy, just beside himself. It's like he was not happy in his own skin anymore. At this point, I obviously took steps. We went to his family practitioner with our concerns. We got a new doctor. They ran labs, all kinds of tests. They didn't know what was going on. They had no answers. How could a normal, healthy, developing baby become so ill? So we didn't get the answers. We didn't get the support from the medical world. They didn't really know. A lot of it they just ignored. I remember that day where the lead early interventionist looked at me and I said, "What is his prognosis? Where are we going with this?" And she looked at me and she said, "I'm sorry, but your son's never going to speak." And she said, "I do not feel that your son's going to have much of a future, that he will be put in a home where he gets 24/7 care. He will never live independently. He will always have to have aids and supports." And I don't know what else to tell you about the future of that boy, but it's not good. I started doing some research, looking into quantum techniques more. My health was very fragile at that point, and I was willing to try anything at that point. I needed to be here for my son. I needed to be strong, and my son needed me. At that point, I saw Carolee's name. The first time that I called Carolee, I was a mess. And Carolee didn't know much about me, but I couldn't breathe. So, hi, how you doing? And then I just seized up. And Carolee just started working through me, and I was able to breathe. And the reason I couldn't breathe and I was hyperventilating was because of my son. At that point, he weighed 42 pounds, and he was 7 years old. Wyatt was not able to go to the bathroom. He had chronic constipation that was so bad. He was getting water enemas 2-3 times a day just to try to get anything to move. We weren't always very successful. He had herbal pills to help him go to the bathroom. Sometimes 2 and 3 of these pills that were very high strength. he wouldn't move. Whatever went into his stomach didn't digest, it didn't break down. It was as if time stood still, and all these things that work like a mechanism of a clock weren't out of sync, and they just didn't move. He weren't processing anything. Carolee says, I need to treat Wyatt. Let's ignore you for today, and let's treat Wyatt. And Carolee went in, and she looked at Wyatt's digestion. And it was they were trauma fields. They were non-physical fields. They were issues of abandonment. There were issues regarding, he was blaming himself for some of the things, for me and his father's upsets, for causing problems within the family. She removed these blocks, worked through the traumas, and got the field, and within an hour, he went to the bathroom on his own. And that day, he went 3 more times. And I'm sorry about this subject, but in that day, he went about 4 feet of poop. 4 feet. I knew at that point I was on the right track. I know in my heart I was meant to meet Carolee. And I know from that day on, he was age 7. And he is 10 now. And I can tell you now, we have never given Wyatt another water enema ever. From this day on, his bowels have worked. Within that first 6 months between my diet and in the kitchen, rehoning my skills in feeding him these foods and working with her, he gained 10 pounds right off the back. And by the end of that year, Wyatt had gained 20 pounds. He went from 42 pounds up to 62 pounds in a very short time. I have never seen anything like it. And I can remember the first time after working with Carolee, 6-7 months, we were having chicken thighs, baked chicken thighs, a baked potato, and some kind of vegetable. And Wyatt says, I think I want that for supper tonight. And I just about cried, because anybody that has a child with special needs or autism knows that was a landmine, a marker of something big. And I said, sure. And, of course, Mama, why are you upset? Mama, why are you crying? Nothing. These are tears of joy. We'll have chicken tonight. And from that part, more and more inclusive moments like that became normal within the family. And because of quantum techniques, because of his healing and this journey with them, a year ago, Wyatt said he wanted some additional courses outside of the home. So we hooked up with a local private school for gym and some other extracurricular activities. And he came home to me showing off in the living room doing jumping jacks. And he says, look what I can do now, Mama. It's easy. Don't you know all the kids do this? And he just, he's showing me and his father doing jumping jacks, and which is, for anyone that has been with a child that has autism, coordination isn't always very easy for them. I just want to say right now how grateful I am for quantum techniques, and I want to thank the founders for developing this and being great teachers and able to pass this on to other people. Carolee is not only a great practitioner, but an amazing teacher. And everybody could benefit from this, even if you don't think that you need it. The healing benefits are unbelievable. And now I'd like to introduce my son, so he can take a minute to just share a few words, so he can have his camera time. This is my son, Wyatt.
Hi.
I just want to take a minute to discuss with him, or maybe you, a few of his favorite foods. Some of the foods we've introduced lately are cultured and fermented
pickles.
Yes, he is my pickle man. Do you like pickles?
Yes, I do. And especially the homemade ones you made.
Yes.
Thank you, Carolee, for how much I have healed. Boom!